Go ahead, Kirsten.
Welcome to our Illuminate session on prior learning assessment. As a mentor, I've had the opportunity to work with many students to successfully incorporate these credits into their degree plans. We'll take some time this evening to identify what types of credits qualify as prior learning and understand how your own learning may fit in. PLA stands for Prior Learning Assessment, a process that many colleges offer as a means of getting credit for college-level knowledge you've just learned on your own through work or self-study. While transfer credits are also considered prior learning, they don't need to be formally assessed if they are from a regionally accredited institution. Just send an official transcript in with that information if you haven't already. Empire State College offers multiple ways of assessing or authenticating prior learning. Through ESC's own process of individualized evaluation, through standardized college-level tests such as CLEP, and through verification of training programs that have been evaluated for college credit. All of these types of credits may appear on a degree plan, leaving room for at least 32 ESC credits out of the 128 total. The official ESC website on PLA can be found by following the above link. An important thing to understand is that the processes described here are only available for students seeking a degree at Empire State College. The area of prior learning that requires the most clarification tends to be individualized assessment. How do you define the learning that has taken place in your life? The Council for Adult and Experiential Learning states that credit should be awarded only for learning and not for experience. The difference between experience and learning is important. This slide offers us a great example of the differences in experiences versus learning within a business communications setting, where experiences might simply mean writing emails or letters. Learning takes the situation further to allow for an understanding of the audience that the correspondence is geared to so that it meets their needs. Here's another example in management this time. Completing performance appraisals is a standard management task. Understanding how the appraisals will shape employee development and supporting such change makes the experience one that is full of learning opportunities. So, to recap, experience deals with doing. Experience is often concrete. Writing emails, dealing with employees, making decisions. Experience may or may not result in learning, depending on the experience and on the learner. But it may, it just may not result in actual learning. It's the doing. Experience is the basis of much of adults' learning. Learning, on the other hand, means that you understand why you're doing things in a certain way. The word understanding appeared frequently in the examples of learning. You might discern a pattern in what you're doing and extract a general principle or theory. Learning means that you can apply or transfer that understanding or theory to different scenarios, more than just understanding the way things are done in your own situation. As you plan to include individually assessed prior learning credits in your degree plan, consider your own experience and learning. It's easiest to start with your experience by identifying what you have done in a particular area. Then think about what you've learned from what you've done. Make charts, lists, diagrams to help you think about your experiences that have resulted in actual learning. Need inspiration? Check out the ESC Online Learning Inventory or our course catalog to get a sense of courses and credit amounts in your familiar learning areas. What courses might be repetitive or redundant for you to take? If your prior learning does happen to be in an academic field, you do not have to match the syllabus of a course exactly. You do, however, have to show an awareness of current knowledge in that field. Check out course descriptions at other schools too. Don't limit yourself. If it isn't a specific course, it doesn't mean you might not be able to get credit for it. Just become familiar with what's out there. Once you've identified your topics, try to narrow things down. Be specific with a title that best represents the learning that took place. The level, intro versus advanced. The liberal designation, is it a technical course or a theoretical one? The credit amount, a potential general education designation. Could it potentially satisfy math or natural science, for instance? If you've taken any other college courses before, you'll have an awareness of the amount of work that goes into a typical semester-long course. Detail the amount of work experience expected in a typical college course. Think about 3 to 4 times the number of credit hours per week. So for instance, an ESC course, we typically have 4 credit courses, which would be 12 hours of work a week or 180 credit hours total for a term. How does your learning compare in your subject area that you're planning to get credit or request credit for? Write this up. Once you have your title, go ahead and draft a 1 to 2 page essay describing the learning that took place and your thoughts on how it can be considered college level. Share it with your mentor. In lieu of an essay, the assessment office used to require the linked form above. While no longer necessary, I find that it helps to guide my mentees in the writing of their request and also to help them prepare for their meeting with an evaluator. Once you have determined that you have a potential request, check out your evolving degree plan in the DP Planner. Does the request have a place there? Is it redundant of a topic you have already represented in a transfer course, an ESC course, or a standardized exam? Is it an intro-level course when you only need advanced level classes now? Is it related to your concentration or is it general learning? Don't spend time on requests that are not a good fit for your DP. You need to make best use of your time and best use of the knowledge that you have. When everything we've discussed magically falls into place, and I guarantee that it does for many people, head to the PLA Planner to submit the request. Or you can alternatively have your mentor submit after reviewing and approving. Once a request has been received, the assessment office will work to identify an appropriate evaluator, someone with expertise in the field of your request. He or she will review your request and develop some discussion questions. You'll exchange contact information and times of availability to schedule a phone meeting. This exchange typically begins in the PLA Planner. When the phone meeting occurs, it can run anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. You'll discuss your request in greater detail and answer the evaluator's questions. The evaluator writes up a report about the meeting and recommends credit. This may be an exact match for your request, or more or less. It's not an all or nothing deal. Once a recommendation has been made, you are able to include it in your degree plan as part of the 96 credits allowed for non-ESC coursework. PLA credit is officially accepted as part of the degree plan approval process once you have submitted your final degree plan and rationale essay to the assessment office. Had we had some students available, this is where I would have incorporated some successful stories. Unfortunately, tech glitches this evening prevented us from doing that. We hope to open up our discussion forums to allow the students to share their stories in our Mahara class. We'll also allow an opportunity in our Mahara class to open up the discussion for questions that folks may have about PLA once they've reviewed our presentation here tonight. So I hope you found the talk informative, and I look forward to seeing what questions come in. Thanks so much, guys. Good night.
And thank you, Kirsten, for a great explanation of the process. And we're looking forward, as you said, to seeing questions, and maybe we'll try to schedule another live session with the students. Thanks again.